Hello. Hello and welcome to Brian Lomax Movie Talk. Joining me once again is CP from Will I Like It Reviews. And I'm just going to go and flip over to my YouTube page just to make sure this audio doesn't cut in.
Actually,
there we go.
I'm getting a little bit
There
of
we go. Yeah.
from your audio. You're getting a little bit of a. No, I'm serious. There's a.
You're getting an echo.
No, not an echo, but like a. I don't know, like a faulty connection or something.
If I unplug my headphones, does it go?
Talk.
Is that gone?
No, it's still there.
Still there?
Now I hear an echo.
What on earth?
Well, it's bothersome. It's not completely annoying. I mean, I could hear your voice.
Just have to live with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that was a really awkward introduction. But yeah, basically, me and CP are here to discuss our top 10 most anticipating. Oh, man, this is a sign of things to come tonight.
It's going to be a long one.
Our top 10 most anticipated movies of 2017. But yeah, I mean, first up, just a quick 5 minutes on how we think. Obviously, we've still got most of this month to go. How do we think 2016 has stacked up in a kind of brief summation, I guess? CP.
Well, it's pretty abysmal. I mean, as far as quality is concerned, nothing really jumps out at me. The way 2015 had quite a few movies that kind of stuck out there. There was 6 or 7 billion-dollar movies in 2015. We currently only have, I think, 2 in 2016. I mean, that doesn't say much, but it just says that the bigger, wider movies aren't really there. And it looks like we're not going to match 2015 for total gross for the year. Unless Rogue One, it counts, even what it makes in January, even if that counts. Unless what Rogue One makes in January counts towards 2016. 2016 is gonna be a down year from 15, and it's just, I don't know. There are a few gems, but just a rough year altogether.
You and your figures. I think on the blockbuster side of things, I think it's been a fairly disappointing year.
Absolutely.
But I think on the independent side of things, there has been some tremendous films out. I think of Eye in the Sky. I think of Hell or High Water. And there's a few more on my list, but I don't have my list up. But yeah, there has been some pretty decent. I mean, Don't Breathe was this year, wasn't it? Was Green Room last year?
Was this year?
Green Room was this year, wasn't it? So yeah, Green Room, Don't Breathe. We've had some really great independent stuff. I've not seen The Witch, but I believe that is pretty good. I mean,
it was quite all right.
Yeah, I mean, I've just named 3 horror films. I'm not even a big horror guy.
Great year for horror. That's the one thing that you could probably put a little sticky on for 2016. Big year for big horror, for mainstream horror, and even independent horror. It was a big year for horror.
But like films like Arrival and Nocturnal Animals, I mean, Amy Adams had a really good run for 2 weeks where she just knocked them out of the park. 2 fantastic films, one of which is in my top 10 of the year. The other didn't quite make it. But yeah, so some really great independent films, I think, have come out this year. It's been quite a killer year for independence, I think, or for studio. I still like to call them studio films because I don't think they're the kind of films that could get made if it wasn't for the fact that people who work within the studio system attach their names to them. But yeah, certain films that people like to call indie, been a good year for them. Not so much blockbusters. I mean, say what you will about Batman v Superman. I liked both the theatrical cut theatrical cut and the extended cut, but especially the extended cut. I didn't like Suicide Squad all that much. I know you did. I thought Jason Bourne, I thought, was a little underrated by most, but I get the criticism. It's just that my problem is if you have those criticisms that were leveled at it should also be leveled at Bourne Ultimatum. But for some reason, people hail that as the best action film ever, yet don't do the same with Jason Bourne. So yeah, that's 2016 in a nutshell. Looking forward to Rogue One. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But 2017, we're going to get into our top 10. What we're going to do is we're both going to start with our number 10 choice. So I'll give my number 10 and CP.
Don't you want to?
Yeah, I'm going to get there. But before we go into that, we're going to give our honourable mentions. So we're just going to talk about a few that didn't quite make the list. And CP, I'm going to hand it over to you first. Why don't you hit us with a few of your honourable mentions?
You want me to do a few or one, or what am I giving you here?
We can talk about them one at a time if you like. Just start reading some off.
Well, the first one should be a 2016 movie. It should have been a 2016 movie. It was a 2016 movie for the longest, but apparently it got pushed back. And that is Michael Keaton and The Founder, about the man the man behind McDonald's. So that was supposed to come out, I think, in August, and got pushed. Slightly independent film. I say slightly because I think the budget was over 20 million, and that's I don't know how independent you'd call it.
It's a joke, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's an absolute. I'm sorry, but as well, if you're getting, I mean, we live in a world where people call Birdman an independent film. You've got a director who's attached, who's been nominated for Oscars, won Oscars, has worked within the studio system, and
right.
every member of the cast is a big player in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
People who work within the studio system. So yeah, I've banged on about this before. It really annoys me what the kind of film that they call independent these days. When you've got a film that costs over 30 million and you've got big name actors on board, then I'm sorry, that ain't an independent.
Exactly. Another one that I guess I'll get the two low end ones, because I have three biggies and two ones that maybe people haven't heard as far as my it didn't quite make the list is concerned. And the second one is Get Out, and I think that's written and directed by Jordan Peele, one of the guys who was in Keanu, and it's a black comedy / horror, and it's basically, I think it's directly about black people and white people, and upper middle class white neighborhood want the black folks of the neighborhood to get out, and it's a horror. It's presented as a horror, and I appreciate very biting, edgy humor. And it looks, at least the premise, all I've seen is the premise. I've seen, I think, 2 images. I've seen no trailer, no nothing. It's certainly intriguing, but that's all I could say about it. Like, independent, you never know. It's a great big crapshoot. Another one on my list is Lego Batman. I think the Lego movie was incredible, and to take the Batman character from that and just expand on it is I can't imagine them screwing that up, because Lego movie was just so good. Next, I have Wonder Woman.
Wow.
Not my top 10, believe it or not. I'm sure you might touch on that a little bit later, and. And the last but not least is The Mummy. And the trailer, I think, is is nice, very Tom Cruisey, and I'm going to hold out hope. Perhaps. Go ahead.
I'm the biggest kind of defendant of Tom Cruise. I love the guy. I don't care what people say. I think he makes great films. Having his name on a film is enough to get me to want to go and see it. But I've not been impressed with these trailers at all. It's going to take a lot to win me over now. Really,
I think Tom Cruise has some sort of stipulation in his contract where he's got to get thrown around in a movie now, because it seems like he's getting thrown around from an explosion or something in his last 5 or 6 movies, or last 5 or 6 major movies at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate all that stuff. I really do. That's one of the reasons I like him. I like the fact that he does all his own stunts. I like the fact that he is so committed to his craft. But yeah, I just don't like the look of the film. But we'll see what happens. I'll still go and watch it.
I really want to see Universal marvel up their horror. Their classics. Just get a cinematic universe out of it. That'd be nice.
Companies need to stop running before they can walk. Concentrate on doing. Like Nolan didn't have The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises planned out when he made Batman Begins. He put everything he could into that film. And then once that film was done and dusted, he thought, right, is there a sequel in this? Is there room to expand this world? And he got on with it. And that's how they should approach a series like this when you're just starting. Okay, Marvel has given themselves license to say, you know what, we're planning 5 films ahead. They've proven themselves. But when you're just coming out of the gate, make one movie, make one good movie. Kill it, put everything into that. Don't think about the future. Don't think about what you're setting up. Just concentrate on making one blooming good movie.
Well,
if that works.
Yeah, that, and I think, what I think what's equally as disappointing and upsetting is if the movie doesn't do well in theaters, they cut and run. And I don't think that's fair either. I mean, take Batman v Superman. I think if it doesn't do well in theaters, you should at least prepare for that. And if you're going to plan on making this franchise of 5, 6, 8 movies, and the first one doesn't do well, then rework it on the whole media front. At least give yourself 2. If you're gonna say, hey, we're making 5 movies, and the first one doesn't come out the gate so well, I feel bad for people that are working on that project, thinking they have some sort of security, thinking, all right, I'm an editor. I have 5 movies here. Let me get myself comfortable. But a movie doesn't do well, and then they cut and run. And
let's talk about the biggest case in point: Amazing Spider-Man 2. Mm-hmm. We now have, for any fans of those movies, and yeah, there are some fans of even Amazing Spider-Man 2. I know it wasn't particularly loved. While I didn't think it was a great movie, I still enjoy it. It's still one I will happily watch. But we've got no completion. There's no ending there. Mm-hmm. We will never get that ending there.
Right.
So as an audience, we've not been respected. The fans have not been respected.
Absolutely.
Have essentially been cut off. Look, we've not made the money, we've not made the kind of impact we wanted from this. So whatever fans we have gained in this franchise, screw them.
Yep.
And that to me is really annoying.
Yep.
J. Michael Straczynski, I mean, this is going into TV world here. He did the series called Babylon 5. It's a kind of love it or hate it series. But something he did is have trapdoors. He always wrote his stories with the idea that we may not get picked up for another season, and he was always ready to be able to tie things up in a way that would maybe not give complete, closure, but would end the series if they needed to go at that point. And that's what they need to do, that with a movie, with a franchise that's as big as something like Amazing Spider-Man 2. You can't set up this idea of the oncoming Sinister Six, of villains moving in the shadows, of Peter Parker's relationship with Gwen being kind of in limbo, and then just say, right, we're never coming back. We're never going to give you any kind of completion on this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I totally hear what you're saying. It really annoys me. I've got those two films in particular sat on my shelf, and every time I look at them, I think there's no ending. Yeah. I'm never going to get it.
And I mean, how many times can you scorn a fan so much? I mean, the smarter fans know. All right, well, Warner Brothers, they did this to me last time. I'm not doing it this time. You can only go to the well so much. Like, I mean, I get it. It didn't do well. Then, you know what? If you planned a 5-film setup and the first one doesn't do well, work something out with Netflix where you do a much smaller budgeted sequel or something like that, and then use that as like some sort of trial where, all right, well, we'll try to expand it. We'll see what the second one does here. If maybe we can rebound and get interest. And a lot of things sometimes, like Batman vs Superman, things don't really rebound until word of mouth from home media gets out there. It's just frustrating that theaters decides everything, and it sometimes it's just not what happens.
So I'm just reading the comments. Jack says, Brian, that's a big praise for John Wick. I don't think they planned a sequel. The response warranted it. I've not actually mentioned John Wick at all while we've been talking. So I don't know if you've misheard me, mate. But yeah, I mentioned Jason Bourne, but I've not mentioned John Wick. So I don't know what that's in reference to.
He might have meant that. I do that all the time where I'm talking about one thing, but I mean something else, and nobody knows what's going on in my head.
Yeah, it could be. If I had to pick between Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man, I'd pick Amazing. Yes, so would I. Yeah, Dennis, so would I.
Brian,
I did.
The two of you.
No, I would.
Spider-Man 2 is great. Spider-Man 2 is great.
It is, but I some things in it haven't dated well. I don't think it's I don't think it's as good as a lot of people make out. Okay, so my honorable mentions, there's quite a few there, but Lego Batman movie was my number 11, so it literally just missed out of the number 10 spot. And I honestly think that's probably mostly got something to do with animation. I'm just not drawn to animation as strongly as I am a live action movie. Even when it's Batman, everyone knows how big of a Batman fan I am, and
there are like WALL-E is just something that I think it doesn't matter that it's animation. That's an incredible movie. The Incredibles. Sometimes animation can be a good movie, not just for kids.
No, I mean, like, Incredibles is a film that I would give a 5 out of 5. Mm-hmm. But it's still, if I'm looking at it on paper, if I've got The Incredibles 2 or, some live action film that looks pretty solid, the live action film's going to entice me every time. Because I don't know what it is. I'm just not drawn to animation that way. When you sit me down and get me to watch one, sit me down to watch The Iron Giant, I'm like, best film ever. I love The Iron Giant. But it's just, I don't know what it is. Pulling an animated movie off the shelf just isn't as enticing to me as pulling a live action one off. I don't know what it is. I don't know why that is. But yeah, so Lego Batman movie literally just moved just missed out of the top 10. Fast and Furious 8, which is apparently due in 2017. Ever since Fast 5, that franchise has basically been the single best guilty pleasure franchise that they've got going. A ton of comic book movies. I mean, I've got quite a few comic book movies in my top 10, but Spider-Man Homecoming missed out on my top 10. Thor Ragnarok missed out on my top 10. And Ghost in the Shell missed out on my top 10, which was obviously based on a manga. A film also that missed out was Molly's Game. Now, there's not a right lot about this out there at the moment. That is the most annoying sound, man. I was sat in the cinema today watching It's a Wonderful Life, and this woman was just sat right behind me, just crinkling this wrapper all the time. I just felt like pulling it out of her hand and slapping her in the face with it. It's just the most annoying sound in a cinema when you're watching a film.
Yeah, that and a constant when somebody's talking.
Yeah. Can you hear that now? Is that what you're hearing?
Yeah. Every time you talk, it's like a little Morse code under you. Really? It's all right. I could deal with it. I'm not a baby, unlike some people. Noise!
Anyway, Molly's Game. The reason that interests me, and I don't really know anything about it, but 2 words: Aaron Sorkin. He's written it and he's actually directing it. It's his directorial debut. So yeah, stick Aaron Sorkin's name on something and I am there. I don't need to be told anything about it, but if he's written it, I am there. You've got my bum in the seat. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. This could either be the next Jupiter Ascending, or it could be the next Fifth Element. And given that it's from the same director as the Fifth Element, I'm mildly hopeful. But the visuals in the trailer are absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Beauty and the Beast, I'm mildly intrigued by, because Beauty and the Beast is like, one of my top 3 Disney animated movies, hand-drawn animated movies. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see where they go with that, whether it's going to be any good. Trainspotting 2. It's an acquired taste. I've not seen the first Trainspotting in years, absolute years, but. Yeah, Danny Boyle is pretty reliable, and finally, I think there's a couple more on there, but I'll just say Kong Skull Island just missed out. It's just underneath Lego Batman, so it just missed out on my top 10. So yeah, that's that. Most anticipated movies. I'm making a good movie first before the franchise. I was just John Wick. Yeah, okay. So he referenced John Wick because he was talking about. It was when I was talking about make one good movie before you start thinking of a franchise.
Oh, and, yeah.
John Wick is one of them films that kind of got a sequel because of the interest from fans, rather than it being planned that way. So,
sure.
Yeah, I get that. But yeah, okay. So. That is our most anticipated honourable mentions. Now we'll go into our top 10. And CP, we will start with you. Tell us what your number 10 most anticipated movie of 2017 is.
From director Peter Berg, starring Mark Wahlberg, it's Patriots Day. A film about a fire chief. I don't know what Mark Wahlberg is in the film, but it's the events leading up to / during the Boston bombing of 13. I don't remember what year it is. That's bad. But I'm intrigued. Peter Berg, he evidently is all about making America movies. He stopped making things like Battlefield. Lone Survivor, I thought was really, 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 really impressive.
Shame about the spoilerific title, though.
What? What happened? You didn't know which one it was, though. But yeah, I'm intrigued quite a bit. If only just for, I mean, Dennis from the Blue Corner, for those of you who don't know, we went and saw Deepwater Horizon together, and he brought something up about, you know, real life movies, that there's some sort of gray area that, you know, especially when you make them like an action movie or something, that you can't really treat it the same way you do something like Armageddon or The Rock, because, you know, there are actual people that you know, are affected by it. So, you know, maybe we wouldn't get the perfect action adventure movie because it's based on something real, but I felt that Lone Survivor was pretty good while still being somewhat emotional. But I don't know. I think movies based on real life events don't need to be great action movies. Well, if they are an action movie, an adventure movie, well, it definitely isn't an adventure movie. But, you know, when you watch Earth get shredded up in a movie like Armageddon, it's, you know, you're chewing the popcorn. When you watch Earth get shredded up in the story of World War II, it's sad. So, you know, there's a bit of a fine line. I don't understand. I don't understand why. If it's fiction, well, it's not. I'm just going to circle myself to death. Take over, please.
No, I think. I mean, I did a movie marathon yesterday at the cinema. I watched 4 films at the cinema yesterday.
And it only cost £200.
I have an Odeon Limitless card. So, yeah, that did actually cost £200. Hey. But it was only when I got back home that I actually realised 3 of the 4 movies I'd seen were based on true life stories. And I enjoyed all of them. I had a really good time yesterday at the cinema, and I do think there's something to be said for a movie that is based on real life events. I think a lot of the time, truth can be stranger and certainly more dramatic than a fiction.
Right.
I think you only have to look at real life to find something that is actually far more entertaining, shall we say, than something that's been created from someone's mind. But yeah, okay.
It's just odd though. Like you get like a, you know, like again, Armageddon, for instance, you get these shots of, like, you know, these pieces of asteroid just taking out all of Manhattan, and you're like, yeah, that's awesome. But, you know, you present it in World Trade Center, and it's, oh man, that's bad.
Yeah. It's like destruction porn is only good if it's
if it's not real. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, so my number 10, and I will warn people straight off the bat, and I make no apologies for this. I am a lover of comic book based movies, so there's quite a few of them in this list. Again, if you don't like it, tough. I'm not going to apologize. They're the movies I like, so deal with it. Number 10 is Logan. Just the trailer really sold me on it. That the use of that kind of old man sounding Johnny Cash, you know, not too long before he passed away, when he was just, there's a certain kind of wisdom and lived-inness experience in his voice during those last recordings. that really lends itself to the idea of this, old man Logan, this guy at the end of his time, I guess. So just that whole mood that was created from that really sucked me in and really made me want to see how they're going to cap it off, because this is apparently going to be Hugh Jackman's last film as Wolverine. So yeah, of course I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do with that. How are they going to send him off? Yeah, looking forward to it. And they're bringing back James Mangold to direct, and I really liked what he did with the Wolverine. The ending, last 10 minutes turned into a bit of a Transformers ripoff, and that wasn't great. But everything leading up to that was a really great Wolverine film, I thought.
Jack Rimson says Logan trailer was the best Johnny Cash music video ever made.
Definitely, yeah, I'd agree with that. So yeah, any thoughts on Logan, or do you just want to go into your number 9?
I mean, it looks like it could be the best Wolverine movie, but when I think of the Wolverine movies,
Hello? Oh, he's gone. Sorry to everyone watching, all 2 of you. But yeah, it's just me. I'll go into my number 9 then, as we've lost CP. I'm sure he'll be back in just a moment. But my number 9 of 2017 that I'm most looking forward to is Kingsman: The Golden Circle. We've got Matthew Vaughn back in the director's chair, which is pretty much all you need to know. But yeah, of course, Taron Egerton's back as the main character. And we've got Jeff Bridges, Julianne Moore, and Channing Tatum. So they've gone with a particularly American cast for this one. That first film had a very British feel to it, other than the fact that they had Samuel L. Jackson in there, as the main bad guy.
What the hell?
You're back with us. I'm just talking about my number 9 choice, Kingsman: The Golden Circle. The first Kingsman film, I saw when I saw the trailer for the first Kingsman film, I wasn't that impressed. It didn't make me really want to rush out and go and see it. They looked like there's some pretty dodgy CGI in there and things, and it was just like, yeah, I don't really know where they're going with this. But then I saw the film, and it was just fantastic. It was like one of my favorites of the year. So
yeah,
I'm absolutely looking forward to this one. And I was just saying that if you look at the cast, other than Taron Egerton, you've got Channing Tatum, American, Jeff Bridges, American, Julianne Moore, American. So if just looking at the cast, it feels like the flavor of this film is going to be very distinct from the first one.
Well, the best scene in the first one happened in America, so
that was indeed not only the best scene in the first one, but the best scene of the year, I think.
Oh my goodness, what a it's
just the fact that it was Colin Firth as well.
Yeah.
You don't expect the dude from Pride and Prejudice to but yeah, so of course I'm looking forward to that, and Matthew Vaughn has more than proved himself now to be the kind of director whose films you should be looking forward to.
Right.
But CP, your number 9 choice, what is it?
Directed by Matt Reeves. It is the War of the Planet of the Apes, and based strictly on the fact that the series just seems to get better and better. Yeah, that's all. Because the first one was great, the second one was really, really good, and same guy's directing, so yeah, I'm on.
Second one was top 10 material of that year. It was like, I think it may have even made it into my top 5. I don't know. I could be mistaken on that, but if it didn't, it probably should have done. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Whether War of the Planet of the Apes makes my top 10, we'll have to wait and see.
Or your top 8, because we're already past your 10 and 9.
Oh, my top 8, yeah.
Am I annoying you yet, Brian?
Pardon?
I said, am I annoying you yet, Brian?
You always know. Pretty much a given.
Sorry.
It's just from the moment I see your face on the screen, I'm like annoyed. I'm in a perpetual state of annoyance. Dude, have you ever heard of a bowl? Just get a freaking bowl, man. Get a bowl, put things in them.
I was just adding to the mojo, that's all.
Annoying. It was an annoying sound.
Oh, wait, and your thing is fixed now. Oh, I guess it must have been.
It must be, yeah, it was your end blaming me.
Yeah.
It's your thing, not my thing.
I apologize. Many apologies. All I can do.
This is why you're so annoying. This is why you're so annoying.
Yeah. And I'm officially single as of yesterday too, by the way. So to add to my annoyance, I don't know why.
Okay, my number 8, and this is based on the trailer. I mean, I was looking forward to this anyway. But after the trailer they released over the weekend, I was like, I'm sold. Get me there now. In fact, I'm surprised it's not a little bit higher up, but I've committed now. So number 8 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That trailer, man, I was in stitches. Absolutely brilliant trailer. I take it you've seen the trailer for it?
My number 8 is identical.
Oh, right. Okay. So our number 8 for both is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Mm-hmm. I was in hysterics, especially that bit towards the end with Dave Bautista. I can't remember his character's name.
Green chest, red body. I don't know.
Just the way he's laughing like a child. And he's like pointing at him going, she made you embarrassed. And he's like, do me. I loved it. I just, can't wait to see it. And it's going to have a kick-ass soundtrack, obviously.
Thanks, Dennis. Drax is his name.
Drax, that's the one. Yeah. Drax kind of stole many of the scenes from under the rest of the cast in the first film, actually. And I got a feeling he's probably going to do the same in this one.
What bothers me is the thing about him was he was like completely literal, and there appears to be a bit of a departure with that here. Well, at least so far in the trailer, like when he offers a hug to Star-Lord. That isn't something he would have done in the first movie. I hope they explain that to some degree.
Well, I mean, he's always been in his culture, hasn't he, until the first movie. So I guess once you take him out of that and put him in amongst this eclectic group of people, he's going to start picking up on sarcasm and what it means, and picking up on different kinds of emotion and things, and reading things differently. That doesn't bother me, to be honest. If they've been hanging around together for a while, it stands to reason that he's going to pick up a few of their traits, and likewise that they will pick up on each other's traits, I guess.
Right.
So your number 7.
My number 7, directed by Zack Snyder. It's Justice League. Yeah, a little low, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
If it were Ben Affleck, if it were, I don't know, me, if it were you, I'd be a little bit more jazzed up. I think he's gotta let it go. But still,
you think Zack Snyder's got to let it go?
Yeah, because especially, I think here's what it is. The fact that I know Ben Affleck is directing Batman, I'd rather his control, because I trust him as a director way more. I think it's just that, and it's not that I don't like Snyder. It's just I don't. He can't. Watchmen was incredible. I love Watchmen. I think he tries to do some of that stuff a little too much with this, and Superman above all else really should be like the closest thing to like a hokey, I don't know, do-gooder Spider-Man, like, kind of fun character, kind of.
So I disagree, because he didn't do anything with Superman in that film, in Batman v Superman, that hasn't been done with Superman in the comic books. It's all about perspective. It's all about which generation of Superman that you're most in tune with. And Superman hasn't been that kind of bright Boy Scout for, at least from the period I was reading comic books. I mean, I don't know what he's like these days. I've not been reading for a while, but I just think you take the Superman that is your Superman, and you own it. I mean, you could say the same thing about Batman. That for the longest time, Batman was this campy character because of the 60s show, but that transferred into the comic books. You look at comic books, Batman comic books in the 60s and 70s, and for that generation, that Adam West inflection of Batman was it had an effect on the comic books. So who's to argue with someone who says, well, that's my Batman, that's my version of Batman, I don't care for this dark Batman, that isn't Batman to me? Yet most people are saying, no, dark Batman's got to be as dark as possible. Well, it's not necessarily true.
I guess the fact that Batman plays well as dark, and we have Batman dark, just to have a bit of a spectrum with the guys would be, I don't know. And I'm not saying I don't like either Man of Steel or Batman v Superman. I do think the extended edition is certainly the film you want to watch as far as Batman v Superman is concerned. But
definitely,
I don't know. It's just maybe just to introduce color. Zack Snyder really his films are gorgeous, but man, I can't tell you the last time if I've seen yellow, purple, any sort of color in his movies. I just want to see somebody else do it. That's all. And again, it's being spoiled knowing that Affleck is coming. Okay. I'd like his control.
I mean, I'm with you on Affleck. I really am. He's definitely one of my favorite directors. I'm absolutely looking forward to Live by Night. That just missed out on this list. I was torn as to whether or not to put it on this list because over here it comes out in January, but you guys get it literally just at the end of December, 25th of December it comes out on limited release. So I was like, can I call it a 2017 release? And I was a bit like, Argh. But if I'd have committed to Live by Night being a 2017 release, it would be in my top 10 because, like you say, Ben Affleck, man, I absolutely trust his ability as both a writer and director. His last three films have just really knocked it out of the park, and there's been a gradual improvement each time. So he's definitely the right person to handle Batman, but I strongly believe that Zack Snyder is the right man for the job. I believe he's done a fantastic job with the universe so far, despite what people say. Any problems with the theatrical cut of Batman v Superman were not down to him. They were down to the studio interference and their need to get it down to a 2.5-hour film. But yeah, totally trust him. If the studio will back off from him now, if they will learn their lesson after Batman v Superman and let him release the cut that he wants to release, then I'm, I have faith. So yeah. Okay. So that was your number 7 choice. My number 7 is Alien Covenant. Apparently is down for a 2017 release. Ridley Scott obviously directing. Prometheus kind of divided a lot of people. I liked it, really
Mhm.
liked it quite a bit. It's not the best Alien movie, but it also, in many ways, doesn't quite feel like an Alien movie. It's got a lot of the DNA there, but
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like an out and out Alien film. And that's reflected in the fact that it was called Prometheus. That was a very deliberate attempt by Ridley Scott to kind of put it within that world, but not make it a kind of direct kind of thing. Whereas with this one, the title of the film says it all: Alien Covenant. So he's getting straight back there. You look at the poster; it's of the alien's face, the xenomorph's face. So we're back there now. We're not messing about with the usual kind of prequel stuff. We're not hinting at what's to come. We're saying we're there. Look, we've got the aliens, we've got the xenomorphs. We're back to the world that Ridley Scott created. So what's not to get excited about? And we've got Michael Fassbender back as well
As David. It's interesting, incredibly interesting that we get David from Prometheus in Alien. So and I think
Noomi Rapace.
Right. So at least we'll get some continuity, and we're going to get right into the alienness, which is exciting.
Yeah, excellent. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Excellent. If it's an improvement on Prometheus, I'm happy with it.
I like Prometheus quite a bit. If it's
I do.
If it's Prometheus 2, I'm really okay with it.
I just think if you can do it better than Prometheus, it doesn't have to be as good as Alien or Aliens. As long if it's a bit better than Prometheus, I'll be happy as a pig in muck. So yeah, okay. Have you done your number 7?
Yes, Justice League.
You did, didn't you? Okay, so your number 6. What's your number 6?
Valerian. I love The Fifth Element. I really, really enjoyed Jupiter Ascending. So that being said, I'm kind of really on board for whatever we're going to get there.
Oh man,
it looks incredible. Sometimes movies is just going, wow. And I'm all right with that. If it ends up being stupid, wow, I'm fine with that. Color, pretty color, mommy. That's all. It looks great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's
okay.
what Neon Demon is for a lot of people. So the people who don't get the metaphors and stuff, it's yeah, never mind.
I've still not seen Neon Demon.
So I'll just no more talking from me then.
Okay. I mean, I am looking forward to Valerian. I mean, like I said before, it made my honorable mentions list, so I am looking forward to it. It from the trailer, it does look like a visual feast for the eyes.
Absolutely.
But we'll see. We'll have to see. My number 6 is War for the Planet of the Apes, which you've obviously just already mentioned. I absolutely loved Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So if this is on that level, definitely sign me up. Couldn't get there faster, quite frankly. And we did a commentary the other night of Cloverfield, which was also directed by Matt Reeves. And we we weren't too impressed with that film, So let's hope War of the Planet of the Apes is more Dawn and less Cloverfield. No, looking forward to it. It just, with Rise of the Planet of the Apes, we really got pulled into this character of Caesar. was a very intimate story, I think, about this ape, and that was the beauty of the film, is that it made you sympathise with this simian in the same way you would with a human being. And then you've got Dawn of the Planet of the Apes that really escalated everything, kind of, put you into a world that was kind of post-apocalyptic, and we're starting to see real tensions rising between both humans and apes. So when you come out with the third film called War of the Planet of the Apes, that to me says that we're in for some major battles, some major kind of I'm looking forward to it, really looking forward to it. And it's got Woody Harrelson in, who I always like. Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, he really deserves a lot more credit than he gets as a solid actor. Like he should be like a $15 million guy. Like he should be commanding some money, but
yeah, totally agree. Your number 5. What's your number 5?
Directed by Edgar Wright. It's Baby Driver. Haven't heard much about it, but Edgar Wright made Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and they're all incredible as far as I'm concerned. So check. Where do I go to see it? That's all my questions are.
Okay. I mean, like to be honest, I didn't even have that anywhere on my list. It must have passed me by. But
I mean, Edgar Wright, he's got humor, and he's very incredibly visual. One of the few comedy directors that actually does some stuff with the camera and really, presents a film. Not he doesn't let the joke do the work. There's some interesting filmmaking with Edgar Wright stuff. I apologize. I think I cut you off there.
No, it's all right. It's all right. No, you're right. It's like, if you look at the opening 10 minutes of The World's End, a film that I think is really underrated. I mean, it's actually my favorite of the Cornetto trilogy. That's how underrated I feel it is. And you're talking about a film like Shaun of the Dead, which is it's up there.
10.
I really do feel that The World's End is very underrated, and I feel like it's because people have watched it once. And it really is one of them films that rewards you on multiple viewings. You go back and you watch it again, and you see so much that you missed. The opening 10 minutes of that, the way it's filmed, it's just the camera never stops moving, but not in an erratic MTV director trying to hide the fact that he can't actually choreograph action kind of way. It's actually the camera's moving with purpose all the time. For 10 straight minutes, and it's like cut. But again, not MTV. It's cutting with purpose. Can't praise that film enough. So Edgar Wright's name's attached. Absolutely, I'm there. I wish he'd done Ant-Man, to be honest. But hey ho. Number 5 for me is Wonder Woman. It's about time, really. It's about time we got a female superhero. It's about time we got a decent one. Every superhero film we've had with a female centric character has just been pretty much a turd. Name one good one. You just can't at all. I'm hopeful for this. Patty Jenkins has done some pretty decent films. I think, did she do Monster? Charlize Theron one.
I'm gonna mix them all up. I'm checking.
Yes, she did.
Who am I mixing her up with?
I think you're probably mixing her up with the woman who did Boys Don't Cry.
That's exactly who I. You got it.
People tend to do that, I think.
You people. Did you say you people?
No, I said people tend to do that.
Oh, okay. You people. It's fine. You just call us Americans.
You people tend to do that. You know that's
Trumpanese.
Oh man. But that's been her only film, you know. She's done a TV movie and she's done a lot of TV. You know, she did a couple of episodes of The Killing, which I've not seen, but by all accounts is a cracking series. And she did the pilot to that actually. So you know, so she set that world up, I guess, the style of it and whatnot. So she's certainly a competent director. Whether she's big budget Hollywood blockbuster material, we'll find out with Wonder Woman. But I'm optimistic. You know, I think she probably has a better understanding of the character than most, given her female perspective. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Wonder Woman, my number 5. What about you? What's your number 5?
My number 5 was Baby Driver, but my 4 is Kong Skull Island by Jordan Vogt Roberts. Hope I got that right. Jordan Vogt Roberts. I just know he got in a big tiff on an airplane a couple weeks ago, but I won't lie, I wasn't really too into it, and the trailers kind of got me fired up for it, only because it's, you know, Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston. I feel like people like that, they don't. You're not gonna get people like that if it's gonna be a silly popcorn movie, and I don't think it's. I think they're doing something here, and
if they get this right, and they move forward with their plans to bring Godzilla into it, then I mean, I really loved Gareth Edwards. Edwards' Godzilla. I thought it was a fantastic film.
That's exactly. If they can get that mood and just kind of join them,
definitely. And some of the imagery, man, from that trailer with those sunsets and you see that kind of haze from the sun and you see the outline of Kong. Absolutely, really iconic looking image. That's a poster right there. So. Yeah, like I said before, this literally just missed out of being on my top 10 because that trailer was just blew me away. Really, one of the better trailers of this year, to be honest. And the cast is so strong. I mean, not just Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston, but there's a ton of actors in it that are all.
Yeah, what I meant by mentioning them too was I think Brie Larson specifically, she doesn't, sign on for things like popcorny. Like I think they're really, trying to. I don't want to say respect it, but I feel like the mood, the tone is really going to try to mimic or carry on that what they started with Godzilla. And I don't know. It didn't feel like a like a monster movie, and that's neat.
Okay.
I hate when I don't know what I want to say, but I know what I mean.
Just don't know how to say it.
Words from here. Words. They're in here, but I need it out.
Okay, my number 4, and this is all dependent really on whether it actually comes out in 2017. I'm a bit nervous that it won't. I get the feeling it's going to be one of them films that keeps getting pushed back. I don't know. But at the moment, it's certainly listed as 2017, and that is Blade Runner 2049. Denis Villeneuve, as people are so fond of correcting me. It's just like, whatever. spelt Dennis. Spelt Villeneuve. There's a V in there. Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve.
Brian,
Denis
I just think you're
Villeneuve.
cranky. I just think you're cranky. You're annoyed by my noise. You're annoyed by how to pronounce a name. Maybe I'm not the jerk. Maybe.
Tired today. I got somebody. This guy. Oh man, his name's escaped me at the moment. But so apologies to that guy.
Lee. His name's Lee.
No. This channel has just put me in a video for top 5 underrated YouTubers.
Really?
And the clip he used in it of me was the clip where I pronounced Denis Villeneuve's name wrong. And it's like, so I'm there on his video saying Denis Villeneuve, and it's like, man, the amount of crap I take for pronouncing his name Denis Villeneuve, I don't care. Just get over it. It's like, anyway, so yeah, back to Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2049. I'm really looking forward to this, not least of which because, hello, it's Blade Runner. But the cast, good grief, Ryan Gosling, Jared Leto. And something that really excites me is Ana de Armas. Beyond the fact that she's, gorgeous and that, I actually think she is going to be an incredible actress. I think she's been in some bad films so far, but I think she has been fantastic in them. Now, she was the blonde woman in the awful Eli Roth Keanu Reeves movie. Knock Knock, was it called?
Yes, it was.
Yes. A terrible film. They're really funny, unintentionally so. Actually, Eli Roth's best film, just because of how funny it is.
It was intentional.
But Ana de Armas, she was great in that, I think, and she was also in a film called Exposed.
She's also the wife in the boxing movie that just tanked this year with De Niro. Hands of Stone. Is that it?
Right. Well, it's tanked so much.
Yeah.
Not even been aware of it.
I think it's out. I think it's you could buy it. Well,
right, good grief.
Here temporarily. Well, I'm temporarily here in the States, stateside.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, gorgeous.
But yeah, I really think she's going to be the next big thing. I think if she can get some roles in films that people like, films that people respect, then I really do think she can be the next Margot Robbie. I think she can be as big as Margot Robbie. I personally think she's that good. So Blade Runner 2049, I think this is going to be her year, providing this film is good. And with Denis Villeneuve at the helm, I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be good. So yeah, that's my number 4. Number 3, what's your number 3?
By Ridley Scott, it's Alien Covenant.
Okay.
For basically the reasons we talked about before, I love Prometheus. I actually watched it on the plane ride here from Denmark to America. I like movies that kind of give you a bit of both, that are, while it's not an action movie, start to finish, there's some intriguing, exciting stuff, and there's still enough to really pick at it and think, well, wait, what's this? And you watch it again, and there's something else you're looking at. And I love those doggy bag movies where you watch it and then something else you get to check out. I hope we get some sort of blended version of Prometheus and Alien. That'd be a nice little thing. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. absolutely. So yeah, okay. Number three, my number three. I've got a feeling this is going to be your number one, but I don't know. You've not told me yet, so I don't know. I'm just guessing. But my number three is Star Wars Episode 8. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I've said that before, but Star Wars Episode 7 was my joint number one film of last year, along with the Aaron Sorkin penned Steve Jobs. On one hand, you've got Steve Jobs, which is a really intelligently written, character-driven, kind of independent flavored movie. And then you've got proper full-on Hollywood. Doesn't really get any more Hollywood than Star Wars. They were both pretty much opposite ends of the spectrum. Both my favorite movie of last year. So of course I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm a big fan of Rian Johnson as well. He made Looper. He made the film set in the high school, which I forget the name of. Completely lost that one. Gone out of my head. It had Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it. Somebody comment in the comments if you know what it is, because it's just completely gone out of my mind. But yeah, Star Wars Episode 8 is my number three choice. What is your number two?
Dennis, you're a troll. You know that? He's saying in the chat that funny how you don't say anything about you liking Knock Knock, CP. I actually, I was nodding no. I forget that you guys watching on YouTube can't see my reaction if it's just two of us. But while Brian was talking, I was shaking my head no the whole time. Because my roommate is such a little baby here. I'm saying it publicly. I thoroughly enjoyed Knock Knock. And you're wrong about what you said after that, Dennis. My number two. Wait, right? I'm on number two, and we're both on number two now, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. A little guy who rejuvenated Batman. He's got a film coming out. His name's Christopher Nolan.
It's a little independent thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
About some minor skirmish somewhere in the world.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's just call it right now. It's both of our number two choice then.
Oh, so we have two joint ones. That's awesome.
My number two is your number two, and that film is obviously Dunkirk.
Has a lot to do with the amount of rice we ate today. Sorry.
Literally, you could just tell me nothing.
I know
about this film. I don't need to know anything about this film. All I need to know is the fact that Christopher Nolan's name.
I didn't even need the title.
Director's chair. Yeah, I do not need it. It could just be called Untitled Christopher Nolan Project, and I would be there opening day, ready to watch it.
Nolan's 2017 film.
Yes, favorite director. He's not put a foot wrong so far as I'm concerned. There's not a single film out of the 9 that he's made so far that I would say is a bad film. Not even close to being a bad film. So, yeah, sign me up.
Right.
Big time. Tom Hardy, Cillian Murphy, both in it. Mark Rylance is in there. So, yeah, good grief.
Yeah, no, it's...
Can't wait.
We've seen maybe 100 frames of footage, if that. And the guy just doesn't miss. And I'm going on his past. If he misses, so what? Oh, so be it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There you go. So number two.
Just proving.
So. Your number one.
Okay, you thought you knew my number one, but directed by James Franco. It's The Masterpiece, which is about the behind the scenes. No. It's Star Wars Episode 8. I had to string it along. I am intrigued about The Masterpiece, but come on. I'm flying home to make sure I see Rogue One. See, I'm calling Denmark home already. I'm flying back to make sure I'm back for Rogue One. So, of course, episode 8 is going to be a big deal. Sorry. Yeah. No, I'm on board.
Okay. Excellent. Right. Yeah, my number one is Justice League. I have total faith in this property being in Zack Snyder's hands. I think Batman v Superman, the ultimate cut, is fantastic. I only had one criticism of it, which I'm not going to go into here because I've gone into it 100 times before elsewhere. But save for that one criticism, I thought the film was an absolutely perfect comic book movie. It just, yeah, brilliant. That's the extended cut I'm talking about, the ultimate cut. Man of Steel, I still think is a 10 out of 10 film. It's one of the best comic book movies. As is Watchmen. Watchmen is in my top 10 comic book movies. It's in my top 20 movies of all time. So I think he gets a bad rap. I think people just want to poo-poo anything he does before they've even seen it. I'm looking forward to it. I love the trailer. I like all the different people they've got to play the various roles. And I'm a DC man. As much as I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I do love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm a DC man. I can't wait to see the Justice League on screen and in Zack Snyder's hands. Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
Well, that was uneventful. The two number ones. So predictable.
But yeah, there you go. So those are our top 10 lists for our most anticipated films of 2017. Thanks to the guys in the comments who've been watching along with us, and thank you to anyone in the future who may be playing this back and watching it after the fact. Join us again at some point, I guess, but me and CP are often together on Google Hangouts, so no doubt you will see us again at some point. But until then, thanks for watching.